All right, we are working a review for rational expressions. These 4 problems are adding and subtracting. In order to add or subtract something, they have to have a common denominator. So the denominator here is x plus 1. Here the denominator is 3. The least common denominator that we could turn both of these into would be 3x plus 1. This first fraction, we've got 2 over x plus 1. It is missing a 3 on the bottom. You cannot just multiply by 3. You have to multiply by a 1, so we have to do 3 over 3. Plus, second fraction is x squared over 3. It has a 3 on the bottom, but it's missing the x plus 1. You can't just multiply by x plus 1 on the bottom. You have to multiply it by the top and the bottom. All right, so the common denominator is 3x plus 1. They both have it because here we have x plus 1, 3, 3x plus 1, so now they're the same, and then we'll multiply. So here we've got 2 times 3 is 6, plus here we've got a little distributing to do. X squared times x is x cubed. X squared times 1 is x squared. This answer is fine, but it's not in standard form, so on the top we need to go biggest exponent to smallest. So the best answer would be x cubed plus x squared plus 6 over 3x plus 1. Again, looking at the denominator cannot be equal to 0, so we've got 3 can't be 0, and x plus 1 can't be 0. 3 can't be 0 is kind of common sense, but it's always good to do the GCF. And then if I subtract 1, x can't be negative 1. So this right here is my final answer, with x not allowed to be negative 1. All right, number 9, x over x minus 2 minus 6 over x plus 1, x minus 2. The least common denominator would be x minus 2. They for sure both have that, and then this x plus 1. So we need to get this first fraction to have x plus 1 in the denominator. So let's take the first fraction and multiply the denominator by x plus 1. You have to multiply the top by x plus 1 as well, or that will change the problem. And then the right fraction already has it, so let's just rewrite. Minus 6, x plus 1, x minus 2. Okay, they both have the same denominator even though they're different order, so let's just go ahead and write x minus 2, x plus 1. There's a little bit of distributing here. We've got x squared plus x, and then right here, the minus only goes to the minus 6. Normally this would be where we would stop, but if you notice the top actually keeps going, it continues to factor. So the top breaks down into 2 parentheses, x times x. We need to multiply to get negative 6, but add to get 1. So plus 3 minus 2. And then we've got x minus 2, x plus 1. X minus 2 over x minus 2 cancel. So the final simplified answer would be x plus 3 over x plus 1. We set the denominator equal to 0. Not equal to 0 to see that the answer is good as long as x is not equal to negative 1. So when we're looking at excluded values, you don't want to forget ones that you had previously eliminated. So in addition to x plus 1 can't be 0, we're also needing to consider x minus 2 can't be 0. Even though it's not in this final answer, it's going to affect the problem up here, so we need to exclude it. So if I add 2, x also cannot equal 2. So we have x can't equal 1, x can't equal 2. All right, number 10. We've got 5 over x plus x minus 4 over x cubed. The least common denominator would be x cubed. We've already got it on the second fraction. We just need to multiply the first fraction. So 5 over x just needs to be multiplied by x squared. The second fraction is good, so I'm going to rewrite it. So 5 times x squared is 5x squared. X times x squared is x cubed. The second fraction was good, so I'm just going to rewrite it. They have a common denominator of x cubed. And then if we combine like terms and do standard form, we've got 5x squared plus x minus 4. So we can break this into two parentheses. 5x into x. We're going to leave that x cubed on the bottom. So in these two slots, we need to multiply to get -4 and cancel out to 1. But one of the numbers is going to be multiplied by 5. So I'm going to put a +1 here to give me 5x, and then a -4 here to give me -4x. 5x minus 4x gives me that 1 that I'm looking for. For excluded values, we need to set the denominator not equal to 0. And if you cube root 0, you just get that x can't be 0. So this is actually the best answer. 11, we've got x over x plus 2 minus 3 over x. The least common denominator here is x times x plus 2. This first fraction has x plus 2 on the bottom, but is missing an x on the bottom. You can't just multiply by x, you have to multiply by x over x. Minus, second fraction is 3 over x. It's got x on the bottom, but it's missing this x plus 2. So we need to multiply by x plus 2. You can't just multiply the bottom, you've got to multiply the top and the bottom. Now, even though they're in different orders, x plus 2, x plus 2, the denominators are the same. So I'm just going to write x plus 2, and then we'll simplify the numerator. Here we've just got x times x, which is x squared. Here, let's take care of the minus in a second. We've got 3 times x, which is 3x, and we've got 3 times 2, which is 6. Now let's go ahead and distribute that minus. So here and here, we're going to have x squared minus 3x minus 6 over x times x plus 2. It looks like the top could factor. 2 parentheses, x times x. If we're trying to multiply to get -6, we've got these options. And if you go through these options, none of these options also add to -3. So this actually is just our answer. All right, so this does not factor, so we're done. We do need to write down the excluded values. So x can't be 0 is done, and then x plus 2 can't be 0. Solve for x. X can't be -2.